Hi guys, it's Aegis here. Happy New Year 2021. So we enter a new year and I recorded on the first day of the year. Yeah, just want to say that before we get into the deck. Of course, we are doing a deck profile today and this will be my final Bermuda deck profile for the recent set. That is a Twinkle Melody and it will be a Highlander build. Uh, just to let you know, this time I won't be talking about their names. Like, if I get them in my head, I would tell them out, but most of them I probably not because I'm not a main Bermuda focus player. So do not expect me to like know every single name. So some names I'll just skip it. But this deck is actually getting very fun. In the past, Highlander is probably the most unpopular build because you need to actually ride the grade 4 and you need to stay on that until you meet another grade 4, which most of them usually just have their on play skill and then they become a grade 4 vanilla, which is not very helping the deck to survive a longer game, and it's really hard for you to consider including a lot of grade 4s given that the number of choices are less, and at the same time, you're playing a Highlander, so you can't actually have too many of the same copy cards in the deck. Or else, when you want to use a skill, you just hit your wall and just have nothing. Yeah. So without further ado, let's look into this deck profile and see how the Highlander is actually being improved. First, Starting Vanguard. I run Shizuku for a reason which you will see in a bit, but it's not a very big deal. If you want to switch to something else, feel free to. That's absolutely fine. Let's enter our grade 4 choices first. First I'm running, I think it's Aneska. So she is a grade 4 from the first Bermuda set, which when appears, reveal the top 10 cards of the deck. And if the normal unit that you reveal are all with different name, then you can get a Force, Excel, and Protect. So basically what she does is she opens you a Excel 2 cycle so you can draw, get your Protect 1 so you can have a PG, and an extra Force. And usually what you replace will be a Force 1. Yeah, so that's mainly what her uses, and you want to have her as your first grateful ride, basically, so that you can get prepared for the next turn and just swing for high numbers, more attacks, at the same time have it protect just in case if you need a PG. And then we are running Olivia. So Olivia is the new card from Twinkle Melody, grade 4, and is again a LIR, but you only need one off. So if you are just trying to get a like deck that have full not shiny but full beautiful Bermuda's art, then Highlander is a deck for you. So what Olivia does is when she attacks the Vanguard as a Vanguard, you can select 5 of your Vanguards, up to 5, and if all of them are with different names, stand off them. If you stand more than 3 or above, during the battle she gets a extra crit. So what she is good for is when you actually have a full field without the need of calling extra stuff. And since you're playing Highlander, they should be with a different name. So it's easy to get that crit, and you get to stand your units so you can do multiple attacks, which you will see some good units that you will prefer to have them on the field later. Then I'm running one of her. I think it's Eve. So she's another grade 4 that can help you when you have like no feel or no idea what you're doing. Active skill. Look at the top card of the deck. By doing so, you can actually call it to a empty regard circle if you want to. So it's not once per turn, so you can just simply look, call, look, call, look, call, look, call until you have a full field, because she can only call to empty regard circle. So just by using her, you can have a full field, and that basically without any cost. But you have a chance to see a trigger on top and you don't want to call it, that can happen. But if you really want to fill out your field, she's your best choice. And she also got another permanent skill, Vanguard skill. All your trigger effects, when you increase power and critical, it becomes double. So one crit becomes 20k, becomes plus 2 crit. So can simply swing for 3 damage if you pull a crit trigger without force 2. And since it's a trigger effect, so even if you got draw, if you got heal, you can heal double, you can draw double, but you can still get a 20k. So if you need a high power push, if it's your choice to go for it. And then one of her, Laura, so she's also a grade 4, and with a when appear skill, with her top 10, if normal unit with different name, then you can call any numbers from the cards that you reviewed. Then all of them get 10k and shuffle deck. So she is a another pusher, since Eve cannot guarantee your Vegas to have high power. Olivia can as well, because she can only restand the regard, but she can gain a crit for herself. But if you want a whole board with a full power, you need to use her. Yeah, so that basically the great force that we will be running. That's another one that can restand herself, but she needs to be the first one to attack, which is basically not possible, because we are running 4 of the Reindeer, which is the reason why I pick up this deck, because it's Reindeer, and her skill is also making that grade 4 actually not playable here. So her first skill is a skill from deck. So when this card is being reviewed by Cardfight, she is count as a trigger unit instead of normal unit. So this is why you can actually run 4 of the Reindeer, because all of your grade 4 that we need to review stuff, and even her second skill, which we will be talking a bit, requires you to have all of the normal units have different name. But Reindeer count herself as a trigger unit, so even if you pull like 3 of her when you use a skill or other unit skill, they are all become trigger units, so you don't need to actually count your Reindeers, which is very, very huge. And her second skill is a auto Vanguard skill. When attack battle ends, discard 2 cards, open the top 10 cards of the deck, and if all the normal units you review are with different name, and you can select one of them, except Reindeer, to write it as stand and shuffle a deck. During the turn, that unit will get -1 drive, and when you're end turn, that unit will go to the bottom of the deck, and you can actually write a grade 3 as stand, as rested, not stand, sorry, as rested. So she really changes how Highlander build plays, because these two will just become a vanilla after ride if you don't have Reindeer, and you just can't getting more and more force markers, because you usually just run 3 to 4 grade 4s, and as long as you don't hit them, you just stuck there. But with Reindeer, you basically you ride her, you gain 1, you superior ride into grade 4s or other grade 3s that's not Reindeer, you get another force marker, and when the end turns, they go to the bottom of the deck, so you can use them again, and you also gain a force marker from her, which also as a Narukami player, I really quite jealous, because with our Vanquisher, Full Bronto, it clearly states that you cannot gain another extra XL marker, which Lord can get free. Reindeer you can get free, but for your Vanquisher deck you can only get 2. So it's kind of like unfair, but I guess Bermuda got their updates only once a year, so they just let that happen. Yeah, so again, you can basically, without riding any reindeer, to gain 2 force markers every single turn, because you just need to discard 2 cards. You don't need to play Counterblast, you don't need to play Soul Blast. So yeah, basically just strong. But of course, with a risk of most of the units are only 1-off, so if you have them in damage or like drop, you probably won't be able to see them again. So let's also talk about other grade 3s that you can use as a ride options with your reindeer, or even if you don't meet your reindeer, they can still probably help you out. So one is our Anji. So she came to us in Twinkle Melody, and with a quite strong skill. First skill, not actually the only skill. Vanguard circle, when this card attacks the Vanguard, by counterblasting 1, you can bounce whatever number of normal unit from Riga Circle from both players' Riga Circle back to your hand, and if you return 2, you get 10k. If you return 3, you get a force. If you return 4, you can search your deck for a normal unit and call it and shuffle your deck. So basically, she doesn't require you to have whatever Vanguard, whatever Regard. You can just use her, like bounce the whole board and get another force, get power, get another extra attack. So easy to use, and only cost you a counterblast. So a good options. Even if you use Reindeer skill to ride Anji, I think it's still fine, because you still get a lot of force markers and you still be able to bounce a lot of stuff to also protect yourself and create extra attacks. Then one Lupina. So I have explained Lupina's skill allows you to find yourself normal unit, gain force, withstand something with force, marker on. Just simple and easy to use because we don't actually use Soul a lot, so you can just simply get into Lupina and do your early swings as well. And one of the Tirura, so she probably not a good ride for you, but she can also do so. But her after attack battle end skill, if there are 3 or more Riga step being bounced to hand, just counterblasting 1 and discard a card, you can stand this unit and get -1 drive. So even if you want to do a Vanguard restand, you can ride her. If you want an extra restandable attacker, you can simply place her there as well. Yeah. And when she appears, you can actually bounce 3 normal units back to her hand and let her to get 15k power. So it's quite easy to gain the power, and since you already use some hands from your opponents, you don't mind to let them have more, but you are swinging bigger and get a restand. So she is also a options that you can actually superior ride, but I normally prefer to have her as a regard, just in case if I need some extra restand to do more extra attacks. So next, I'm running this grade 3 Q-Ture, I think. So what she does is you basically declare a name and reveal attack until you meet that, and get that card to your hand as your deck. So you call her or ride her, declare a name, and basically get what you need because you're running a Highlander. you will only reveal until you see the card. So easy. And then this grade 3 Gerlinde, I think so. Also a new card from the set. When she appears on the Vanguard circle, reveal the top 7 cards of the deck. If the normal unit reveal are all different name, you can call up to 2 units from the revealed cards and shuffle your deck. So it's kind of like her, but you won't get the power gain. But I think it's still fine, because normally you will use your Reindeer first. So you simply just attack with your Reindeer, and then Superior into her, getting 2 extra units for extra attacks, so no hurt at all. And just from here ends our grade 3 or higher stuff, and you can see I'm running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that's quite a lot of non-shield value high grade units in the deck, so which is kind of like my Mega Colony build, but I do actually get Protect from Mega Colony, but here I can only get Force. So when playing this deck, you do want to try to keep these cards in your deck as much as possible, but we are also running that much so that whenever we use Reindeer skill, we can probably hit into something. Even though we can write grade 2, grade right instead, and when our turn ends, they will still go back to the bottom of the deck, but most of the time you will want any of these options. Of course, except Reindeer if you're looking at the top, because you can't superior your Reindeer from Reindeer. And then talk about grade 2s. First, Aqua. Basically just bounce and reuse your units, and allows you to draw a card and do some card switching. And here's starting a little bit different. I'm actually running 2 of the Lizelot. I do see a build actually from a Japanese player. He's playing like a lot of Lizelot, maybe a lot of Aqua, and then the Great Researcher, all this stuff, and he actually doesn't afraid running that much. So this gives me a little bit idea to actually pump Lizelot, because she can be called as a great one, but there's no guarantee she can survive that long, so that you can use Aqua to bounce her back and call. And as long as you have 1 in hand, it doesn't matter. The other one stays in the deck because there's still 1. So I think running 2 is fine. And even though you do have these 3 cards to help you fill the board, but sometimes you do want to do some soul charge. And what if you don't meet them? You still kind of want to do some early push before you superior into them and get new units and do more attacks. So I'm actually running more than 1 of her. And then one of the Sistical, she is a card that we really want as a Mega Colony player, but we never get one. So her skill is during your turn, if any players regard getting bounced to hand, she will get 10k. So you basically work her with your Tira or your Anji to get the 10k. But what Mega Colony players actually angry is her second skill. When she appears on Riga Circle, you put 1 normal unit from drop zone to the bottom of your deck. If you put a grade 3 or higher, select one of your opponent's regards and they cannot stand from the next stand phase. So what if Mega Colony actually get this card, they can return a grade 3 that can help them to get another protect marker, and they actually can get to do the paralyze. But now this skill becomes a Bermuda card. So yeah, as a Mega Colony focus player, I actually not very happy when I saw this card and like, why aren't we getting one for Mega Colony? But it is what it is, and I will just try to play her in Bermuda. Yeah. And I'm running one of them from CP Serena, mainly because when she attack hits, if I have 4 or less cards, I can get to draw one. Early push so that I can just feel free to put cards on the board and draw with her. And then Perla, if you have the Pearly, both of them get 20k and 1 crit. Basically what you do need from the deck. Also, if you get pumped with Eve, they can be stronger. If you have Olivia, you do want to restand both of them, so they are good here. But you can only put one in the deck, so it's basically just for Highlander, and you even if you want to put more, you can't. And then I ran one of this great one, just that I can have a high power push, but when my rivalry starts, she will need to be retired. So do be careful when you call her. If you have Great Four, she can at least pay 22k. So isn't too bad given that most of the time you try to pump all your force markers on your Vanguard circle so they are big. So yeah, something that can attack higher as a regard is very important. And I'm running one of her. Basically, since I am actually using Reindeer skill to keep rewriting, so whenever a new Vanguard appears, she will get 5k. And if the Vanguard is grade 3 or higher, you can Soul Blast 3 and draw 2, so also helps you to do a little bit defense. But what her weak point is, she is only 8k, and you can pump her to 30k, but that's still not very impressive. So if you do have other stronger units, place them in front place or at the back, so just to keep drawing yourself cards. Talking about draw cards, we also really one of these grade 2. During your opponent's turn, she is a 15k, and when attack hits the Vanguard as a Vanguard, counter plus 1, draw 1 card. So another card draw so that you can meet your Reindeer a lot easier. And running one of her so that you can gain boost and able to intercept from the back. Nothing too special, but just some optional piece. And then grade 2 and grade 1 Coral so that you can soul charge to use her skill to draw yourself cards. Grade 2 Searcher, one of the grade 1 PGs, so I will be only running 3 of the draw PGs. Just because I think this kind of lineup is better. But if you do want 4 of the draw PG, you can find another grade 1 replacer. That's really fine. And we have a Perla, pair with Perla, you just get 2 plus 20k plus 1 crit unit, so they are needed. One of her, she is from the previous set, which when she appears on Vanguard Circle, reveal 1 grade 4 from your hand, and you can get to put whatever number of cards in your hand to the bottom of the deck, and you draw that much. Then you can shuffle the deck. So if you really have a bad hand and you have one of her and one of your grade 4, you can just switch all your hands and see what you get. And since grade 4s, once you get them into your hand, you probably want them to go back to the deck anyway, so that you can use for Reindeer, and you don't actually want to ride on them, then you will be stuck. So she gives you a chance to do another mulligan. So yeah, just a backup plan. And one of her, if you're going second when she attack hits as a Vanguard, you get a draw, so another extra draw power. And by retiring her as a reroute, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, add 1 to your hand, 1 to drop. So if you're looking for pieces, you can use her. In Betty, so when she appears, look at review the top 7 cards of the deck. The normal unit are different names. Put up to one of your hand to the bottom of the deck. If you do, then you can actually pick 1 card from there and shuffle the deck. So again, happy to pick up pieces. And then Aura, another card switch, and her. Basically, you need to put her behind your Vanguard, but after she boosts Vanguard and battle ends by retiring her, you first draw 1, and if you're willing to counterblast 1 and put a Grapefruit unit to the bottom of the deck, then you can draw yourself an extra card. So also helps you to rotate the deck so that you can have more Grapefruit for Reindeer to rewrite. So that's basically all our non-trigger units. And now finally entering triggers. 4 heals, 3 PG draw, and a normal draw, and then 8 crit. Yeah, so that's basically the list. Unfortunately, it's actually quite hard to explain the UI sequence because every single card is different, so you only can play depending what you have in your hand, and just carefully look at the skills and just work from there. So I'm not actually doing that part for this time, and it actually taking a lot of time because every single card is different name. But I think I will just try to record some fight videos with something at least similar to this build or exactly this build, so that you know how the Highlander idea is. But one thing I can tell you is try to ride Reindeer and then just work from there. Since I've explained like all the grade 4s, all the grade 3s, what you have to do is just to meet them. Just keep trying to rewrite game force markers and probably just stack them all to your Vanguard circle, and then just use whatever skill that you have on the field or able to play, do your stuff, and try to win there. So that's basically the idea. And by playing Highlander, it's actually quite fun because every single card is basically different, and every single time you play the game, the flow is the same, that you want to get into Reindeer and then get into different grade 3s, get grade 4s, and you're probably choosing the same options again and again and again, but you open hand, the cards go to drop, the cards go to damage, every single time is different, because except the trigger units, most of the cards you're only running 1 off. So yeah, you will not be able to rely on specific card every single game, because there are times that you go to damage, so you will meet them again, or there are chances that you get them to your hand but you need them to the deck, so you can't actually use them at all. That happens. So yeah, enjoy the fun, enjoy the struggle, and let me know any questions you have with the deck, Highlander, and I can see how I can help you. Yeah, so let's conclude our Bermuda deck profiles. And starting next, I will be doing the clan selections deck profiles and maybe some promos deck profile as well. So just enjoy, and I will see you guys in the next video. Signing off.